All right, so by now, everybody's supposed to hear the breaking news. Breaking news update. Popular vlogger Jaii Frais has been charged. I'm going to tell the truth, people. I know I'm in disbelief, because, based on the stories, based on everything what we hear, we are looking on Jaii Frais as the victim, All indications point to Jaii Frais as being the victim. But according to the news update, authorities confirmed that Richards now faces multiple serious charges, including wounding with intent, shooting with intent, and the use of a prohibited weapon in the commission of a felony. A lot of big words there, a lot of words that we don't understand because this needs some technical people. This needs lawyers and judges and people to kind of break it down and explain it to you. But I find a video I come across recently that it just might help us to figure things out or even get us on the right track, because them words are triggering, and we know Jamaica changed a law recently where it's a mandatory 15 years sentence if you get caught with an illegal firearm. So I guess the word, we have to find the context of what is illegal, what suggests illegal. So you have this lawyer that went on TVJ News recently and they asked him a series of questions. But I love if we could have listened and if we could actually this could have helped you if you kind of figure things out.
Generally, where you have a licensed firearm holder, he's allowed to take that firearm with him on his person.
Yeah.
But as you said, Neville, when I go to events, the flyers normally say absolutely no weapons allowed.
Right.
And even during the soccer season, even my very cooler was searched.
All right. This is one other thing, because somebody who attended the event, the Big Wall event, need to tell me. You can drop it in the comment section and let me know if you saw any kind of indication, any notice, any public display of a sign that says no firearm is allowed. Because to my knowledge, Jaii Ambassador, he was inside the venue with a firearm, a legal firearm, right? So I need to know if there was any clear signage to show that no firearms should be allowed, right? But overall, based on what this lawyer is saying, you can still take your firearm to wherever you want to take it because it is supposed to be on your person at all times. It is up to the owner or the promoters or whosoever control the venue to stipulate their own rules, but it's not like it's a law. You get what I say? So, go listen further.
In order to ascertain if there is any illegal weapons, so not only firearms, but any weapon at all. So it is very strange to me that you do have some events that patrons are actually having weapons inside of those events.
Believe me, people, this entire case, it got unearthed a lot of corruption. It got unearthed a lot of things because the promoters have to answer questions. The security firm where the promoters hire, they have to answer questions because nobody will be taking this blame. And to make matters worse, an American got shot. Not that Americans are more valuable than locals, but you kind of understand, say, a person only visited the country to enjoy themselves and fly back home. And the safety of people visiting, that is number one priority at all times. This can affect tourism, this can affect the image of Jamaica and a whole. If you say, stay on resorts, don't leave off of resorts, don't go to local events or parties or whatever. So this thing have a potential to spiral out of control in so many ways that we can't even see coming right now. Future look grim, people.
Yeah, but if the event that you went to did not say no firearms and they found you with a firearm, I mean, I'm talking about licensed firearm.
A legal firearm.
Legal firearm. Would you be in problems?
I don't think so. Not at all, because I'm a licensed firearm holder.
Okay.
So that is it, people. Jaii Ambassador, his firearm was licensed to him, and he's currently being investigated because the court gave not only Jaii Frais, but Jaii Ambassador. The court gave the authorities, the police officers, them until 6 p.m. today to file official charges. So I guess in Jaii's case, he won't be charged for any prohibited firearm. But for Jaii Frais can pull the firearm off of somebody, him tackle somebody and take the firearm off of them. But them still charge him for a prohibited weapon. So that part I kind of want to know is either there's hole in Jaii Frais' story, or if you take somebody's weapon and defend yourself, you can still face certain consequences. You see me? We're still trying to figure out all of the details right now. So we can listen further.
Well, the law allows a person in Jamaica to defend himself. You can defend a third party. You can also defend your property. And once you raise the defense of self-defense, it is considered a complete defense, meaning that once it is raised in court successfully, then you get to go home.
Yo, I kind of wish we could have get the proceedings, the transcript from today's court hearing, to kind of figure it out. Because based on what the attorney has said, I could play it again and hear it.
Well, the law allows a person in Jamaica to defend himself. You can defend a third party. You can also defend your property. And once you raise the defense of self-defense, it is considered a complete defense, meaning that once it is raised in court successfully, then you get to go home.
So I wonder if the self-defense claim by Jaii Frais was actually taken into consideration today, or if that is for a later date when the official trial actually starts. Because this has a, Richards faced multiple charges, including wounding with intent, shooting with intent, right? So them type of words there, that not really, I don't know, that not really sound like self-defense. You get what I say? I wonder if that actually, if they're going to consider that. And then I say, the use of a prohibited weapon in the commission of a felony. I don't know. Somebody smarter than I can tell me in the comment section. You feel like, say, the self-defense claim was actually considered by the judge? Or them kind of dismiss that based on the evidence, based on all of the investigation them what the cops them do? Or if that is for a later date. You get me I say? Without proper context or the transcript from today's hearing, it kind of, I'm not really sure. A lawyer would have to tell me in the comment section. But this sound crazy, people. Well, on, continue.
However, it is a law in which you have to establish, or defense rather, that the use of force in these circumstances is necessary and it is proportionate to the level of threat that exists at the time.
So, it's either the prosecutor them or the defense. I forgot proof said Jaii approached Jaii Frais with a firearm already in hand. One of the side them. I feel like more like the prosecutor now. Because if Jaii Frais adamant and say, all right, self-defense him a plead right through, story not change or nothing, then the prosecutors then will have to plead, say, yo, Jaii did not have any weapon. Jaii only pulled him weapon after the fact, after Jaii Frais reacted, right? Jaii can use his defense and say, all right, we only approach Jaii Frais for talk. And even if the investigation proved that Jaii actually slapped Jaii Frais in his face, based on the law, based on what the lawyer said a while ago, he's saying that pulling a firearm after getting slapped is probably not equivalent or sufficient because you have your two hands as well that you could actually fight or slap back the person, the perpetrator, based on what they say. So you should only pull your firearm if you know so your life is in immediate danger. And getting a slap in your face, probably the judge won't consider that as immediate danger. And we live in Canada then, people who know about Canadian laws, bro. You literally have no rights over here. People can break into your house and do all type of things. And if you dare take up your hand and hit that person that break into your house, you in a trouble, you know. A person can actually sue you and say, yo, you assaulted them, you know, and them broke into your house, you know. Crazy world we're living in right now as a victim. So sometimes a man prefer shoot first and then just ask question after and just deal with the consequences after. I don't know. Here we go.
In fact, there is the classic case called Beckford and the Queen that illustrates the test for self-defense. And it is that a person may use such reasonable force as they deem necessary where it is that they honestly believe that their life is in danger.
But based on the circumstances, based on Jaii Frais' account, him say up to 15 people approach him. Automatically, and based on the fact where he was, you don't know, so it's over the porta potty section, the darkest part of the place right now. Cause you're not going to put the porta potty in a place, in a direct light where everybody has to go to the bathroom, right? It must be a place where isolated. So if you in a situation like that and you look and you see 15 man, and if Jaii Frais can actually, matter of fact, I don't even think a Jaii Frais need to prove it. If Jaii Frais say, him look and him see Jaii with gun in hand and a couple other people with gun in hand, then I don't know still, Jaii Frais' reaction sounds sufficient to me. Like, him fire for save him life. But I don't know, it's kind of tricky to me still. I wish we have like a reference or another court hearing that took precedence for this. You get me? As a first, me actually hear a situation like this. It's crazy. All right, hold on.
So you may use the illegal firearm to defend yourself, and you may be found not guilty of murder or not guilty of wounding with intent.
Right.
However, there's nothing stopping the prosecution from pursuing a charge of illegal possession of firearm.
Damn. Hold on, I hear that, people. Hold on again.
Once you have, so you may use the illegal firearm to defend yourself, and you may be found not guilty of murder or not guilty of wounding with intent.
Right.
However, there's nothing stopping the prosecution from pursuing a charge of illegal possession of firearm.
Oh. So I feel like that happened in this instance, you know. Feel like that happened in this instance, you know. You can use it for defend yourself, but them still like consider the nature of the weapon. If the weapon is licensed to you or not. So if it's not licensed to you, you're going to face charges for that. And that's a problem right there. Because like I said before, minimum 15 years for illegal, prohibited weapons. Yo, thank God Jaii Frais actually get ISAT, because you have to get a big league attorney who can actually find loopholes and convince the judge or, yo, I don't know. Yo, people, you say your life can just take a turn for the worse in a second, based on a split-second decision, your entire future. Yo, I don't know, people, yo. Like, honestly, Jaii Frais a good youth. Like I said, people probably say him say a lot of reckless things online and everything. But saying reckless things don't warrant you losing 15 years of your life, yo. You get what I say? Damn, bro. Yeah, we could listen some more.
I know the man who's I know him don't have a gun, but him come and him and thump me up and I pull my gun and shoot him. That's reasonable?
Well, every case is looked at differently. Certainly, that is not necessarily a reasonable force. A thump and then you draw for your gun.
Damn. So like me saying, yo, them Africa prove say Jaii Frais saw Javi with a gun in his hand. How them gonna prove that? To this date, we don't know. We don't hear nothing at all from Javi's side. You know? We don't hear nothing from Javi camp. It's like either them decide say them not leak no kind of information because them know how public scrutiny go. Or I don't know. What could have been the other option why we don't hear from Javi's camp any at all? That part that always puzzle me. We hear a lot coming out. Every news outlet, every news update, it's all about Jaii Frais. You don't almost think Javi ambassador is not involved in this right now. Them actually find a verdict for the victim, the person who I deemed as the victim, which is Jaii Frais. It is so strange, say, we hear a verdict for Jaii Frais, and to this date, we don't hear nothing about Javi ambassador. To this time, when I record, we are past 6 p.m. right now, we don't hear nothing about Javi ambassador. So what go on? Is it that Peter Champagne or whosoever say, yo, no leakage, no information to the media? Me not understand. That's crazy. Further on.
In provocation, it rests upon something either said or done, or it can be a series of acts that is done that causes the person to lose what we call self-control in that moment.
Oh, so I must say, yo, if you were actually provoked, them have to take that into consideration, because you know certain things can trigger you, especially in a heated moment, arguments and all of that. So they must say, yo, them can take that into consideration. Maybe that can reduce charges, make you have a lesser charges based on the circumstances. So we just hope that the Jamaican police them actually do some thorough investigation. Me only hope say, yo, who eyewitness, this is one of the time them people, yo, don't hide it, tell it. This is one of the time then where if you at the venue and you have leaving recordings, any footage, video footage, no other time for submit it, yo. Big man thing. Like I say, what about people life in the balance right now? I don't know. Crazy.
So with the provocation, for example, if somebody is constantly teasing you, or a man walks in on his wife committing adultery, and he pulls his firearm and he kills both the wife and the man, then he can very well say that he was provoked. I just want to make it clear here that the defendant or the accused who raises the defense of self-defense does not have to prove that he acted in self-defense, because it is the prosecution that has a duty to prove its case.
Okay.
It is the prosecution that has to establish that at the time you acted, you did not act in self-defense.
Okay.
Oh, so right now, you know, the bulk of the work, the bulk of the heavy lifting in this case actually rests on Peter Champagne's shoulder, trying to prove or trying to pass the blame over to Jaii Frais. Jaii Frais are going to stand firm and say, yo, self-defense, right true. So Peter Champagne now, him have to actually prove otherwise. And until he's able to prove otherwise, that defense are going to stand. Say, Jaii Frais was provoked and him acted in self-defense. But we need to find out the nature of the gun, because the prohibited weapon are that are the problem right now, or that are the bigger charge, you know. We know say it's supposed to be an easy thing for ISAT for argue. Say, yo, Jaii Frais acting in self-defense, him actually run and shoot to save him life. He's not no military trained person. So you can't expect him say him have to shoot the direct target, which is the person assaulting him. So if some shot fire and it actually hit some innocent bystanders, I don't really feel like we can penalize Jaii Frais too much for that, because he's not military trained or anything like that, right? So, yo, this is very interesting, yo. This is going to be something where, I know this is going to actually be a case where we can study for a long time to come. Yo, people are going to actually learn from this, and it's just unfortunate that it take 2 life to be completely shattered for us to learn still. Vloggers are going to learn, artists are going to learn, everybody are going to learn, even people that redeem themselves as entourage. People say, yo, them love man, them love artists. A lot of people are going to learn from this. You get what I say? This is going to be a learning lesson. It's just unfortunate, people. But I don't know still. I want to drop it in the comment section and let me know. We need some lawyers, we need some brilliant minds right now to kind of dissect this, because the information kind of come in slow. Molasses slow some of the time. And we're not hear from Javis camp. Peter Champagne, we don't hear no update. You get me? I said no interview, no nothing. ISAT kind of provide with little bits and pieces because they don't really want to blow him entire case. But drop in the comment section, you feel like say, yo, Jaii Frais have a chance to walk free from this, or I'm have to serve some time. Yo, damn people. I don't know. Big up on yourself still. I'm out.